Howdy, folks. Howdy, partners. You like my shirt? You like my mojo? Do you? Yeah, no kidding. No shite. That's a. Guess what that is? Yeah. So in case I get hungry out on the trail. Hola, everyone. Alan here. This will be my last video for June on the range. Not my last video of the month, probably not, but Elmore Leonard's The Collected Western Stories. Buddy and a group read on Criminality's Discord service. Let's see, Mark at Book Time with Elvis joined in. Some others. And it was a pleasure for me to read this. This is a 4-star collection, in my opinion. I really got into the stories. Check out some of these old magazine covers that these stories appeared in. Isn't that cool? All right. So, this is my own personal book. Made some notes in it. A few. I liked a lot of the stories. Now, before I get into specific stories, I was surprised that there's a few N-words in here, and I understand if I can even pronounce it, verisimilitude and being correct to the times and lifelike, realistic. This is real realistic. I was surprised at the level of some violence in it. There's I think, well, there are 3 stories in here that have the N-word in it. And one story in particular has a white officer calling an Apache a red N-word that I thought was enlightening and unusual for sure. Some of my favorite stories are the Colonel's Lady. Boy, she gets her just desserts in a big way. And I like the fact that Rindo's is mentioned a few times in the story. R-I-N-D-O. Rindo's is a station. Rindo Station at the Banderas Crossing, 6 miles across straight flat desert. Reference page 279. That's a story. Let me find it real quickly. Page 279 is Trouble at Rindo Station, which is a exciting story. Now, some of my favorite stories in here are I also listen to, before I get in there, let me digress here. Where's my coffee when I need it? It's way over there. Let me get my coffee. Cilantro. Cheers. Back to the book. So I also listened to I read these stories twice a piece. Some of them 3 times because I listened to it with Audible too. I had a chance for a free, I don't know how I got it, or maybe I just paid for it and forgot about it, but I had a credit I didn't know about, so I got the credit on this. And Henry Rollins reads 3 of the stories, including 310 to Yuma, which is in here. It's a great story. You can also get that free on Libby app. If you guys know about the Libby, Libby app, it connects with your local library if you happen to live in a big city. Some of my other favorite stories in here, it spans over 20 years. There's some stories from the 50s. There's some stories from the early 90s in here. The last story is from like 1994, I think. Let me make sure. 1994. Yeah, hooray for Captain Early. This has the N word in it. It's about a colored man. That's what he's called back then. Originally published in 1994. So New Trails Doubleday. It was an anthology, Western Writers of America. But it's about a punk ass white guy who challenges a black seasoned Texas Ranger, and then I won't spoil it for you, but it's a great story. I also like the story before that called The Tonto Woman, about a woman with tattoos, an Indian woman, and she has, I know a woman, a friend of mine, who has facial tattoos that are the same as this woman in The Tonto Woman. So I'm curious about that. I haven't asked her. She has other tattoos as well, like I do. But every collector of tattoos has a story behind them. And facial tattoos are, you know, especially important and symbolic and meaningful to that person, you know, obviously. But I digress. What other stories? Hang on one second, please. I'm sorry. The Trail of the Apache. That's like a real early one, 1951. That's a violent story. The Boy Who Smiled, about a hanging. That's a violent story. Yeah, and I think that The Boy Who Smiled, I'm sorry, I don't have editing skills anymore. Come on. Okay, yeah, Only the Good Ones, Henry Rollins reads. That has the N word in it. Boy, this is a violent one. It takes place in Maricopa County. That's Phoenix, Arizona. Maricopa County, yeah. Maybe I enjoyed this collection so much because I had spent so much time in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and also, well, I know Tucson as well. I know Flagstaff. I know Sedona. Wee bit. But I really enjoyed this book and recommend it. 4 stars. I'm going to give it on book reads. Right now, if you want to be my friends, it's in my About section. My book reads. It's under my name. But why not like, subscribe, make a comment. I'll reply back to you, partner. Until next time, I'll remain yours. Stay lit, my friends.